we have to kind of talk right before. I remember the Tony Gonzalez introductory press conference with Joe Tyree. You were there for that? He's like, "We're live, Arthur Blanks," and then they
Gil
God.
is off and all the way on.
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty bad too. I don't.
Hey Kenny, where do you want me to stand? Plain? Where do you want?
No, I want you right next to me.
That's what he said. He was going to have you up there with him.
I'll be on this side.
Right next to me.
Hey, look.
It's kind of.
You try mine?
I mean, it's fine. Oh, cool. I just hand him this.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And that on your way out.
Try it? What does your phone say? Because I'm going to get our time code synced up.
11:38. We'll go by mine.
You tell me which one you want it on. 39?
Yep.
I'm at 11:39 right now. I'll let Eli know that too. That's just the name. That's the title. I don't know who he was. He must have been somebody before, but we wanted that too. Jamie Parker, athletic director. It's great to hear his title. I have no idea who that is. I don't know if there'll be any players here, but I brought this too, just in case. I don't know if we'll grab players afterwards. Or people, I don't know. I'm prepared. The plan is for Eli to shoot the press conference. I'll shoot cutaways.
Do we do one-on-one if we try? Usually they'll have to do one.
Whatever we want to try.
Will we be able to do another audio check on later?
Yep.
12 minutes from now.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get that table.
Oh, okay.
No, but I got a lot done on
I'm working on that thing for a while.
it. It's just when
I already texted him.
Oh, you already talked to me?
Didn't put two and two together.
Oh, that's right. It's a back. They're both out. Oh, it's a back. That's right. I forgot.
That's what I thought too. Yeah. See how the video I got on
No. I watched the game.
I was behind the bench. We got back for the second time. We can't be back here. All right, well, I've already been here once.
You're not a good winner.
You know what?
I was like, no, you gotta wait till.
Here's what I'm going to do too. I've got my wireless plugged in, so if you hear a quote, I'm going to take it from a different end. Just read out from that. Still got the plug if I hear something good. I'm at a different end. Quirky stuff like that.
Gotcha.
His wife is really good.
Because he's not.
No, she's basketball. She's a basketball.
Here?
Sounds right. Yeah, it's right out here. Diagonal, straight across.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, I mean,
It should work fine. I'll show test it right now. Make sure we're all yeah,
Are you?
Where are you? What is he?
Justin. Cody's the main He does some filling in, but he's the technical one. He took Cody's spot. Cody's He deserves it. I mean, he's been busting his ass. And Justin does a good job too. They both do. They're both good. Yep.
He's working out there.
Yes.
Wow, no, I sit down, pretty him goes, holding out this out, and he gets something good. I had like these two
Eli. I think Ken's like a minute faster than us. He's looking at his watch time. He's got it at, I'm put it at 20 or 11:47. So I don't know what your camera's at, but that's what he's on right now. Or 47. Just check it. I checked it.
So you're 12 hours off.
I do it that way because I shoot everything in the afternoon.
12 hours off.
Doesn't matter. I shoot everything in the afternoon, so typically, so that's why all my stuff when it happens at 4 or 5 at night. It's easier for everybody to know. That's just me.
It's 1,200 hours almost.
Your stuff is 12 hours before.
So what do you want me to do?
It just clicked over to 48.
Well, what about 49 by the time I get there?
No, I won't. You're a smart ass.
Yeah, because I didn't know
settle down by there?
Yeah, I'm right behind the guy's truck.
Yeah, I don't know what the lay of the land.
We're supposed to be getting
Yeah, this looks good. He's talking about
Hey, I just want to make sure you're seeing here still.
no.
Okay, very good. Appreciate it.
She has to be back, so we'll whatever we have to shoot, but then go back to the station. So, probably. How you doing, man? But the big dog. I know. Of course, it's still sitting under the truck. Were you driving?
Oh my God! I can hardly sit down. You're bigger. It's bigger than me.
It's a work. It works. It should hell.
Was it Kirby?
Your back, search your back, sounds fierce.
David, it hurts.
Alright, man.
So, I mean, I guess I've got everything covered.
Well, really, I just want to get a different angle of him walking in is really what I'd like to get.
Okay.
So if you want to shoot it from that side, I'm going to shoot all my cutaways from this side.
Okay, so I'll go over there.
Why don't you shoot that? That's really the only shot. Because he's got to introduce the press conference. By that point, he's already done it up. Then I'm going to break over and shoot it. So really, that's the only shot I'm going to get. Just a different angle. Just a tight shot of him walking in. Thanks, Jim.
I'm just glad we're not talking about the Falcons right now.
Yep.
I literally felt like I wasted my 3 hours of my life. Yes, sir.
That was ridiculous. You can't stop somebody on 3rd and 19.
This is a good spot, Pete. I like it.
Cool. Looks like there's going to be a ton of people here, unless they're all standing around. But
Yeah, I told him I was concerned about me having a text and all that. I said, no, they'll be tweeting back there.
okay, good.
I mean, I can't do that.
Get a white from in there if you don't mind. Tim, I'm not sure which way he's coming in, so I would assume he's coming in off the stage. Sorry, man. Okay, Ken.
Oh my God.
Are you? I've checked with Dexter. We're good to go. Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Yep.
You call Dex?
I've already called him.
Are you guys audio and everything good?
I had reasons about why
I don't think that's, yeah.
How are you, sir? Did she mention it for you? That's what I'm doing.
One less person to compete against, and then 5-6 years later, $600,000, $750,000 I couldn't do it.
We were interns at CNN together. Los Angeles.
Hey, you invited me?
I'll tell you.
We're 2.5 to air.
There I am.
He's calling in.
I got it.
He's in.
Okay, let me think about that. Mic checks are pretty demanding on me, and I'd like to think about this before I deliver a mic check. And if you tell me it's okay with you, okay. Was Mark Richt's news conference at Monday last week?
It was last Monday. Over to you, just a hair. That's good. Over your left shoulder. If you want me to push in, I can. If not, I'll just wide.
Depends what's going on. Yes, sir. You? Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Mic check. How are you?
Yo. Yeah, you're good. And to your left, you stay here. That's good right there.
Yes, did you hear me? Hey, Portia. Ah. Okay. 4-second delay.
Check, check one, check one. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, check 1, 2, check, 1, 2.
Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What's going on? Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Checking audio. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Darius, am I clear? Check 1, 2, 3. Well, I don't see you over there. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Checking 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you.
Yeah.
And not from a signal perspective, I think it's something entirely different. On for a while. Well, it may be a different small, this is
Let's get it over here then. Get over. We're just going to swap backpacks for some reason, so there's nothing made of your schedule because you bring back the session video.
So the live is going to be for, the camera on the top shot. The TV will be the podium shot. You know that for the web. So whatever you have it on, News 18 or whatever. Well, first we're going to bring it over while it's still on, plug it into a USB source, check that. If the unit's still on and everything, I think
still powered up, so I put the batteries on it. We normally get them.
Thanks, everyone, for coming this afternoon. Just a quick outline of the format for today. Greg McGarity will come up and have some opening remarks, and he'll introduce Coach Smart. Coach Smart will make some opening remarks, followed by a question and answer session with the media. A reminder, we have some floor microphones, so please raise your hand if you have a question, and we'll get one of the floor microphones to you. And when you ask your question, please be sure to identify yourself and what outlet you represent. At the conclusion of the question and answer session, both Greg and Kirby will step off the stage and be available for a short time for some follow-up questions with the media, and then we'll conclude the program. Greg?
Thanks, Claude. Good afternoon, and thank you for coming. Today is a very important day for the University of Georgia, and we are extremely proud and excited to introduce Kirby Smart as the 26th head football coach at the University of Georgia. To Kirby, Mary Beth, Weston, Julia, and Andrew, welcome home. Our goal during the search process was to identify a person of unquestioned integrity, of the highest standards for conduct and character, a dynamic and energetic leader for our football program and the University of Georgia. It was critical to identify a person who would focus on a specific, defined process of developing championship football teams on and off the playing field. Someone who understands the true meaning of a student athlete by actually experiencing it himself. Someone who competed at the highest levels on the playing field, was mentored by some of the very best in the game, and understood the specific ingredients necessary to excel at the highest levels of college athletics. Kirby Smart fits that profile. I believe Kirby Smart is the perfect fit for the University of Georgia. We want to thank Mr. Bill Carr, the CEO of Carr Sports Consulting, for assisting us during this search process, as well as members of my staff. With Bill's assistance, we considered and vetted a number of current head coaches and assistant coaches to determine the best match for the University of Georgia. We then identified a small number of candidates with whom we discussed our head job. Kirby and I met Saturday night in Atlanta following the SEC championship game, and after that conversation, I made my recommendation to President Moorhead that Kirby Smart become our new head football coach. On Sunday morning, President Moorhead interviewed Kirby and thereafter approved of my recommendation to name Kirby Smart as our new head football coach. President Moorhead then called for a meeting of the Executive Committee of the UGA Athletic Board, which unanimously approved the hiring of Kirby Smart. Now is the time for all Bulldogs to unite and give our support to our football coach and staff. Now is the time to make that next step in our program. We are ready to move forward. We are ready to support Kirby every step of this journey, and I know our staff looks forward with great enthusiasm to work alongside Kirby in our effort to make UGA great. Ladies and gentlemen, the head football coach at the University of Georgia, Kirby Smart.
I don't think words can express how honored and privileged I am to stand before you as the head coach of the University of Georgia. I'd like to first thank President Moorhead, Greg McGarity, and the athletic board. I also want to express how much I appreciate the last 9 years I've spent at the University of Alabama. Coach Saban has been a great mentor during that time, and I would not be before you today were it not for him. I've thought about this day all my life. As the son of a high school coach and the best English teacher in the world, I've always aspired to be a head coach. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad, for the example you set for me and for so many others. As most of you know, I spent 5 of the greatest years of my life here in Athens as a student athlete. As I look throughout this very storied historic program, there's several coaches that had a great impact on my life here. Coach Dooley, who's been a lot to me in this community, and a great man. Coach Goff, who, God bless him, brought me here, wasn't a very good player. Probably the reason he's not here is because he wasn't a very good player. But then Coach Donnan, has been a great asset to me as I've grown as a coach. I'd also like to thank Coach Richt for the opportunity he gave me as assistant here in 2005, and also for laying a foundation of integrity at this university. But the most important thanks goes to my best friend, my teammate and partner for life, my wife. She is my rock, and as a coach's wife, she plays the role of both parents a great deal of the time at our home. And the best part, she's a born and bred Bulldog. From the time I met her, she's been a Bulldog. We met here in Athens, Georgia, married here in Athens, Georgia, so it is, in a sense, a homecoming for our family. Her father Paul is here helping with our 3 wonderful children, Weston, Julia, and Andrew. Without you, MB, none of this would be possible. Now, a little bit about my vision for the university and our football program. Our student athletes will represent the university with class and integrity. We will demand that. The greatest satisfaction I've received as a coach is going into a 17, 18-year-old's home, recruiting that young man, and then watching them walk out the door as a graduate 5 years later. We'll do everything in our power to help these kids be successful as true student athletes. And that student comes first. Although we know these young men will not be perfect, they will be held to a higher standard of behavior. Our ultimate goal is to educate students, and we'll do this the right way, which is the Georgia way. Now, about our football team and our brand of football. Our teams will display great mental and physical toughness. We'll play with great confidence and pride on the field. We'll work towards this with relentless energy and passion. And I will demand that everyone in the organization does that. In closing, I'd like to issue a call to action of sorts to the Georgia people. We need to channel our faith, trust, and energy in the same direction to support this team and this university. Thanks again. It's an honor and privilege to be here before you, and I'll now take any questions.
Hands up, questions? Dean Legge from Scout and Dog Post. Kirby, congratulations. What's it feel like for you to see your family all in red over here? You got a little bit emotional earlier about your wife.
Yeah, it's a special moment for me, Dean, to see them and see what she's been through, Mary Beth's been through. With coaching profession, it's tough on the wives. And she's done a great job with our children, raising them in a Christian home, and that makes me proud. And it makes me proud to be back in Athens and be part of this great community.
Hey, Coach. Jason Butt with The Telegraph. Just wondering if you've made any progress on preparing your staff now that you're the head coach of Georgia.
Absolutely. I knew the staff question would come up. You know, we don't put a timetable when we make those decisions. It's a very fluid situation. It's constantly moving and changing. I won't put any timetables on anything. Right now we're worried about getting on the road, getting recruiting, and trying to assemble staff and talk to as many people as we can.
Kirby, Seth Emerson, Atlanta Journal-Constitution. What was your reasoning? Was there much discussion about leaving Alabama immediately to take over full-time, or what is your plan over the next month then?
First off, both President Moorhead and Greg were very supportive of me doing this the right way. It's very important to me that I finish things the right way over there. A lot of these young men playing for the University of Alabama, I sat in their homes 3, 4, 5 years ago and convinced them to come to the University of Alabama. And I don't think it would be doing justice to turn and walk away from those kids. And I think that President Moorhead and Greg both supported me fully in continuing to finish that while at the same time honoring my duties here. And, regulating your time will be very critical in the next probably month while we get ready for this game, and also recruiting's an active period right now. So it'll be a challenge, but a challenge I'm up to.
Kirby, Mark Weiser, Athens Banner-Herald. When did you feel like you were prepared and ready to be a head coach, and what uneasiness do you have about stepping into that role?
I think the growth you get from working at a place like Alabama and with a program under Nick Saban, it helps me immensely. A lot of people always said, why not go take a smaller school head job? I honestly feel like that my growth was better by being in a large program, being around Coach Saban, and learning how to manage a lot of the tough situations you deal with in the media. So for me, the most difficult thing for me is the timing of this and trying to move forward and grow and get the recruiting going. But as far as the challenges that they present, it's there for every head coach in the country. It's no different for anybody. Hit the ground running, put your nose to the grindstone, and deal with one issue at a time. And that's what we plan to do here as a staff.
Hi, Kirby. Chip Towers, Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Today's an emotional day for you. I got to tell you, you're really fighting this. My understanding is you've had many opportunities over the years. Can you validate that? And why Georgia and why now?
Well, I don't think I need to validate the opportunities. To me, the biggest thing is I've had opportunities to go places. Stayed at Alabama because I thought it was a good place. I waited on a great opportunity, which is here at the University of Georgia right now. No better place in the country to be, one of the top programs in the country, top story programs, very fertile recruiting ground, very supportive administration. So I'm so excited to be here right now and be here before you guys.
Coach, Ken Rodriguez, Fox 5, over here.
Oh, sorry.
You're preparing for a national playoff.
Yeah.
You're also catching up with the recruiting. Give us an idea what your days are going to be like. And for those one or two recruits that are going to might have been wavering, how do you plan to handle them?
Well, be honest with them is the first thing. To be honest with the recruits, be up front, that there's change going on, and change is inevitable. And I think it's really important that they understand that. And it's important they get to know me. When you ask what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be real busy. I've been real busy. I'm going to continue to be busy. But that's the relentless energy and passion. That's the reason I am where I am today. Because I'm going to do that recruiting, I'm going to do coaching, I'm going to work for the playoff game the same way with the same energy and passion. So that's what I hope to achieve.
Kirby Vance Levy, Bulldog Illustrated, welcome back. You know, a lot has been heard about the process over at Alabama. Without giving away the trade secrets, what are the kind of the cornerstones of that, and how I assume you'll be implementing a lot of that here at Georgia?
Yeah, the process is hard work. That's what it is. It's hard work through commitment to doing things the right way, a commitment to excellence on the field, off the field, in the classroom, in every social aspect we have for our players. And the only way you achieve that is by getting a great organization, a great support staff, surrounding yourself with great people and great coaches. And that's what I hope to do here at the University of Georgia.
Hey, Kirby. Fred Khalil, CBS 46, over here this way. Hey, didn't mean to scare you there. Could you just tell us, when you spoke to the team, what your message was to those guys that are in the room?
Yeah, I spoke to the team last night, and I talked to them about the same things I just talked about here, having a commitment to excellence off the field, especially right now as they enter finals, and making sure they stay committed to the classroom, finishing this season the right way with a chance to win 10 games, which helps in recruiting. I spoke to those guys about doing the right things off the field, and if they can continue to do that, they can be successful. But I talked to them about change, and I told them that, I guess it was 20 years ago, I sat in the same place they were, and had a new coach coming in, and the uneasiness about having to prove yourself again and start over, sometimes as an upperclassman, is tough. And I want to be here for them for that. We're going to challenge them, and we're going to demand toughness and effort out of every person in every aspect of their life. And we're going to push them harder than they've ever been pushed. But I think to be excellent, they have to do that.
Afternoon, Coach. I'm Scott Kimbler, News Radio 106.7 here in Atlanta, or there in Atlanta. Over here, Coach.
I'm looking. There you go. Thanks, buddy.
The past couple seasons, the program has had a couple of setbacks. If you could talk to all of the Bulldog Nation, which you can and are, what would you say to instill confidence that the team will move forward and be in a better place fairly quickly?
Well, looking forward, the only thing I can do is look forward of trying to assemble the best staff possible and to go out and get as much depth and good players as we can in recruiting, and make sure those are the right kind of student athletes that will make right choices and decisions when they get here, and then get back here in January and get back to the grind of assembling this team and making this team the best it can be. I firmly believe that you can take and develop players and you can show improvement within a team, and we need to do that here.
The coach is Zach Klein from WSB Channel 2 in Atlanta. You left one program with arguably
exceedingly high expectations to come to this, where they decided to go in a different direction after expectations were not met. You played against this team earlier in the year. How far is your new team away from competing for national championships?
You know, that's not a question that I like to answer, hypotheticals. And to answer that, it'd be really difficult to say, put a pinpoint on a time on that. What we want to do is develop a really tough physical team. We want to get great recruits in here, and we want to do it the right way. That's what's important to me. Continuing on a foundation of integrity is utmost importance for us at Alabama, here at University of Georgia. Sorry.
Coach, Bobach, News Talk 1160. What's the single most important element you want to instill in the program right away? What will identify this as a Kirby Smart program?
Character, toughness, determination, a lot of those factors, relentless effort. That's what we talk about all the time. That's what we're going to sell this program on, making sure every kid is buying in to the team aspect of that. And once you get that, you can achieve every goal you want.
Hey, Kirby, John Salty of AL.com. Nick said that you're as loyal and good as an assistant as he's ever had. I'm just interested in just kind of what the meeting was like when you told him that this was going to happen, and just what his initial reaction was when you said you were going to Georgia.
He was great. His initial reaction was he's excited for me. He and I have a great relationship. We spent 11 years together, 9 consecutively there at University of Alabama, and he's been a great mentor for me, and he was very supportive and said he'll do anything he can to help me and continue that development. He's always been supportive. He's got a lot of guys that he's worked with out there in this profession.
Jordan Hill with the Red and Black. Coach, when Coach Richt left, he talked about he sort of regretted not having more say on the offense. Do you feel like you're going to be more hands-on when you get to work with the defense?
Repeat that question, I'm sorry.
When Coach Richt left, he talked about he kind of regretted not being more hands-on on the offense. Have you kind of decided if you're going to be more hands-on when you get with the defense?
More hands-on than what?
As far as running the defense, not leaving it to assistants.
Oh, no, I'm going to be hands-on with the whole program. I mean, I'm going to be very involved. I'm going to be involved with everything. I mean, to me, that's one of the biggest strengths I think I have as a coach is managing the whole thing, being involved in special teams, being involved in the offensive and defensive sides, and meeting with the coaches. And the big thing is making sure everybody's on the same page. Demand excellence out of everybody and make sure you get that. And if you don't get it, you got to continue to demand it, or you got to make a change. And that's what being a head coach is about. And those are the hard, tough decisions you got to make. That's what I'm ready to do.
Jeff Schultz of the Atlanta Constitution. Coach, following up an earlier question, you came from a place where teams were expected to win titles. There was obviously a high expectation. There was a belief that Alabama was going to be in the hunt every year. I dare say you're coming to a place where the fan base has been beat up a little bit, haven't won an SEC title in a while. How difficult is it not just to achieve that level of success, but to get people to believe that Georgia can win big games and have those moments sort of year after year and compete for titles?
You know, I think you do that day by day. You know, WIN, what's important now, and you build that faith, trust, and confidence in your program by what you do with your players. And I think first and foremost, these players at University of Georgia have to believe in themselves, and we got to do a good job of instilling that in them as a staff. Make them believe in themselves. There's good players here. We got to do a good job with them. We got to improve the depth. We got to improve the quality of depth throughout the team, both offensive and defensive lines, skill areas. There's no area here that doesn't need improvement in depth. But that can be done, and I think it will be done.
Kirby, Wes Blankenship from WMAZ in Macon. You referenced that 2005 season in your opening remarks. What did you take from that season specifically here in Athens, if anything, that you brought with you through the rest of your coaching career?
Yeah, that's a unique question because that year I was the running backs coach, and it was a unique year for me because I was coaching on the opposite side of the ball. I still think that was one of the greatest learning experiences for me. To this day, I still use thoughts on defense that I learned from being with Mike Bobo and the offensive staff, Neil Callaway, here at the University of Georgia. That helped me become a better coach. So, I advise every young coach that if you can spin over to the other side of the ball as a graduate assistant or another position coach, you do that. Because that helped me grow 2005 to be on that side of the ball. And there were a lot of great players here that year, and it was a fun group to coach at running back. We had a lot of good players in there.
Hey, Kirby, this is Anthony Dasher of UGAsports.com. I guess in regards to recruiting this week, have you had much conversations with Brian McClendon about the type of player that Georgia has been targeting, and how are you planning on handling the dynamics of approaching and targeting and going after the kids you want?
Say that one more time, the end of that?
Yeah, just how do you plan on handling the dynamics of getting out to all the kids you want to see this week?
Oh, the dynamics of handling it, I'm going immediately from here to go out and start recruiting and use every minute I've got of this contact period. As a matter of fact, I'm ready to go right now to go see some guys. I mean, because I got to go see them. I've only got so long to go see them, and then it goes dead again, and we get back to work on our bowl games and bowl prep. So, I mean, we've got a very detailed list of people we're going to see and going to attack and go see them one last time before it goes quiet again. So.
Charles Odom with the Associated Press. Following up on that, do you have a break before practice begins for Michigan State of about a week where you're, so to speak, full-time Georgia?
Absolutely. Yeah.
How long will that be?
It's not exactly set yet, probably till Monday, Tuesday of next week. When we start bowl practice, I think University of Georgia, Brian McClendon and them are starting around the same time we are. So I'll head back over to Tuscaloosa to start bowl prep with them. But even while I'm over there, I got a lot of good mentors in this business. And one guy I want to really thank is Dan Quinn of the Falcons. He called and said, "Hey, look, any way I can help you." I went through a similar process when he was with the Seahawks and also trying to take over the Falcons. And he talked about time management and managing your time the right way, spending every free moment you have people help you. I've got a great organization support structure here already in place who can help me time-wise and have calls set up and ways for me to manage it better and utilize that time so that you can be fair to both places.
Kirby. Rodney Nabulsi, UGA Sports. We know what you've done defensively. Can you give us your offensive philosophy, and are you going to install an offense that was toughest for you to defend against, or do you have some sort of plan in place?
Well, I think a lot of offenses we've tried to defend have been difficult. The media would say that the spread teams are the Alabama kryptonite, but I would argue it could go either way, and I think offensively you have to have balance. Okay, you want to be able to run the football and throw the football. It's proven over time that if you're one-dimensional, you'll eventually get stopped. So to have balance, you got to have good depth on the offensive line, especially in this conference. You got to have big, grown men. You need lots of depth because it's hard to get through it without having injuries. But we want to be able to make explosive plays on offense, which means you got to have good skill people. And to me, you got to go recruit great skill people. They're here in the state. They're here within a 5-hour radius. You got to go get them and get them in your program so you can make explosive plays. And I think that was lacking in somewhat last year here on this team, the perimeter guys, and you want to be able to make explosive plays. So to do that, you got to be great on third down on offense. So those 3 target areas you got to have. Now to say, are you going to be spread? Are you going to be pro? Pro formation, I don't think you can pigeonhole yourself into that. Okay, I like to think that you got to be both in different situations. You got to utilize the talent you have on your team. What kind of players do you have on your team? What is it set up to be successful? Do you have a lot of good tight ends? Do you have a lot of good backs? How about using those guys? Okay, you get the best players the ball. And I've learned that from the coaches I've worked for. They've been the most successful when the good players got the ball. So you need to go get good players and get them the ball. And that's what we plan to do.
Kirby, Dean Legge again. Have you talked with Mike at all? Did he congratulate you? And have you discussed anything with Will here lately?
Yeah, obviously Mike, when I guess it was announced yesterday, texted me and called me. We're close friends, family friends, kind of grew up together. His dad's high school coach as well as mine. So Mike's been very supportive of me, been very helpful, talking to, bouncing ideas off of. And it was the same way last year with him. I used him, he used me as a resource, and we use each other because we both have different networks. And Will, obviously I've talked to Will. We're good friends. I'm happy for Will and happy for his family.
Kirby, David Pascal from Chattanooga. As a follow-up to that, with Will being named at South Carolina and Missouri promoting Barry Odom, you've got 5 coaches in the East now with defensive backgrounds, where 5 years ago it was overwhelmingly offensive. Why do you think it has trended so sharply in that direction?
I don't know if it is that way in the East. Obviously, you just gave that information. But for me, it's just how it happened. It's what kind of people you are, what kind of person you are, and it just so happened that way. It could change in 4 years and go back the other way. Obviously, there's been a large trend towards offensive coaches as well, and it goes highs and lows, ebbs and flows, who's stopping who and who's doing well. And, for the most part, I've always thought of the SEC as a defensive league. The highest ranked, I think, offensive statistical group, we might be 33rd in the country out of our conference, where there's a lot of top defenses. And it's a tough physical league, so you want to be able to play good defense. And historically, the teams with the best defense have been near the top of the conference. So I think that's important to a trademark to have a good program in an SEC championship is good defense.
Kirby, Chip Towers, HAC. Have you been, in terms of staff and everything, have you been given any kind of limitations or restrictions on you can have this guy, you can't have that guy? Is it
Absolutely
totally
not.
up to you?
They've been totally supportive of any decision I want to make, and that's the way it should be. Also want to mention, I see Mark Fox out there. I appreciate him reaching out to me today. He's been a great asset for me already, and look forward to meeting him and visiting with him.
Coach, over here, Dan Matthews, second row. To your right here. In the interest of continuity with the program players, is there interest in holding over some staff members from the previous regime?
Again, I don't want to put a timetable or any speculation. It's really unfair to those coaches and their families. There'll be consideration there, obviously, but I do think that it's very important that I hire my staff and put my staff in place.
Last question, please.
Coach Scott Michaud with the Augusta Chronicle. When you follow a long-term coach who's had a relative success at a university, do you feel a certain pressure to deliver a higher level of expectation right away?
No greater pressure than I put on myself. I can promise you that, because that's the way it should be. You put pressure on yourself. You demand excellence of everybody in your organization, and we're going to go out there and have the intent of winning every game we play.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.